Another game, another you, another me. In the bottom of the map on the fastest speddings, that's the new word on the street. Speddings around. We do have the Supinator playing as Kronos, promising to deliver a new and improved, never before seen ultimate Kronos here. Showing everyone the business. His opponent in the red is none other than the Raple on the terrifying, the mighty, the ever-present, the effervescent, the omnipotent, the all-powerful Zeus. Everyone's favorite god around these blocks. The map's Oasis, and yeah, like I said, Soup has been telling me, and I'm excited that he's come up. He's been in the kitchen, he's been working that noggin of his to come up with something to help this god called Kronos through the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. No, the tragedy of the Promethean nerfage that's been happening. He has gone from a Promethean spamming bot into a what do I do now? Now, lately, we have been seeing people trying to make Cheiroballista work. Now, the way that I see Cheiroballista right now is, first and foremost, never, ever... I don't know if he's going to use these, by the way, but I just want to go on a rant about this. Never, ever movement command a Cheiroballista. Always attack move. If you always attack move, you're never going to get caught out. That's number one. Second, never run in a line formation. If you run in a line formation, your opponent is going to be able to catch you out. So run in a box formation with your infantry units or your meat shield, Prometheans, whatever you want, catapultes, whatever you want, around the outside. Then your opponent is never going to be able to catch you out. So always attack move, box formation, and maybe, just maybe, you can make a Cheiroballista work. I did the bad thing. Everybody tells me, and I also say this from time to time, an editor test is just an editor test. It doesn't really say a whole lot about how things happen in a game. But what it does do is it gives you an option to try in a real game and see if it actually works out or not. And what does work in the editor is a box formation Cheiroballista army against Berserks. Soup in the chat says, a Cheiroballista costs 215 resources, and when you valorize it, you get 75 resources back when it dies. There you go. Free resources. So a very cheap unit. After all, it's not actually 215 resources at all, is it, for Kronos? Happy days. But then again, you don't really want to lose the unit, do you? Tough life. We see the temple going to be moving forward on the map, looking for a little cheeky attack-a-rooning onto this place. So yeah, just so everyone can know, we'll just take a quick look at this. Lost Siege and Myth units return 20% of their resources lost. So yeah, a heroized Cheiroballista is very expensive. And that is technically a Siege unit, even though it's not affected by Siege upgrades. Apparently it's too strong. It's too strong for the Cheiroballista to get some Siege upgrades. It could be. I don't know. So Athena, wait, I guess these guys need a bit of a flipperoni, don't they? So Athena versus Prometheus, the temple is already in here as the Jason is going to come out here and attempt to greet the Promethean here. We'll be able to slap one, slap two, big damage, Minotaur getting angry, headbutting Prometheans away, and Soup effectively just gained himself some resources there by sacking that Promethean, so... any sort of early pressure has been thwarted here, as in the main base we do see a military barracks and a counter barracks. I like these sort of openings. The more I play Kronos, the less I think that fast second town center and playing like an economic game makes any sense. Oftentimes it just means you're playing into your opponents, like you might have more economy than them, but they just got units that are very tough for you to kill. So I really rate going for one town center players as Kronos at the moment. But we'll see if Soup's got anything planned here. He has not yet built. There's the first Cheiroballista. So he's already going for those Cheirobalistas. Whereas on the other side, Raple, double military academy up. Soup hasn't seen this just yet, but you're playing against Zeus. You can almost, and Athena Zeus at this, you can almost predict without seeing anything that hoplites are going to be coming at some point. So there's not really a bad thing with building out those Cheiroballista before you see anything. That being said, it's always nice to just confirm if you can, if that's exactly what your opponent's doing. There is a world where a crazy Zeus player might go for a Athena Hippias sort of opening to get some raids off and put pressure on. As we do already see the stock standard Oracle spammage of Soup. He has made a name for himself with the Atlanteans in tournament for having the most favor gained out of anything. So he is going to be trying to mix in some Prometheans with his Cheiroballista and with his Murmillos and all of the other good stuff. Mana coming up on the front here to grab this hunt, though it's almost all gone. It seems very early for it to all be gone. He must have, yeah, he did leave a whole bunch of hunt in his main base there for a little bit later, eating chickens as well. No economic guild, it looks like, at the moment. No economic upgrades through just yet, but he obviously having those oracles out is technically economy here for Soup, as his Cheiroballista has been caught out under attack. There is a Valor over here to come through as the Minotaur does headbutt, but he's not able to fling the Cheiroballista alive. He's too fat. He's too heavy. Look at him. I'm sure this is going to be a Valor onto this position now. And now we get to see, look at this, 200 wood, 175 gold. That's nearly 400 resources in that unit. Absolutely insane. And this is also exactly how I'm starting to believe that the Valor should be used. Like, I don't hate using Valor on my citizens if I'm playing like a boomy game, if I'm playing a 2 town center game, though I've already kind of said that I don't particularly like it. But if I'm playing a 1 town center game with Prometheus, I much prefer to use these Valors sparingly, because the favor is so important, but sparingly to keep my units alive, to heal them back up to full HP, and also to get the heroes into my army to deal with enemy myth units and the things like that. As Raple is just going to continue building these hoplites out. He does throw down another military academy after seeing all of those Cheiroballista. Now, the best thing for Raple to do to beat these Cheiroballista is to get out Peltas. Peltas will absolutely eat them for breakfast. Obviously, he has to get to the heroic age for that. A more tricky way to play against this is to try and catch your opponent out. So if you can get the hoplites onto those Cheiroballista before they even start firing, for example, that's a fantastic way to go. As more Prometheans are coming in. It does get spotted over on this side here. Soup does miss that one a little bit. Going to be getting a 1 Cheiroballista lost there, but resources back in the bank. Not as many for a hero one, but nonetheless, the raids coming in onto this side. Looks like it's going to be... This is a big amount of damage here. Raple very much out of position. Very, very aggressive with those hoplites. But he's also going for a revenge raid over here. He finds a mana. No citizens on that spot. They are moving over into the corner of the map there. But so many losses here. Another villager to go down. Look at the differential in population right now. 30 to 38. Great play from Soup. An attempt at a reaction there from Raple, but just not quite there. As we do have a cheeky Rheia coming in. Absolutely. Well, what can you say about this that hasn't already been said about this god? And this is exactly what I was talking about. Getting caught out by those Cheiroballista. This is the hardest part about making Cheiroballista is if you just get caught out one time, they all die. So you got to be so careful with them. As Raple is now... has no real problems running around the map with these hoplites anymore. I'm really interested in what Soup is going to be doing with this Rheia. The upgrades that you get with this god do make some sense to continue pumping out Prometheans, because you get access to more favor gen from your town centers, from Horns of Consecration, and also you get some favor back to from that one technology. Whatchamajigget. I can't remember what it's called. Rhea's gift. Restoration to come through. The hoplites. It's very close to finishing off this town center, but it looks like it's not going to be happening here. So many villagers back onto the town center to keep it up. A bolt onto one of those behemoths to try and keep this all going as the Prometheans are getting taken down very, very quickly by those heroes of Raple. Great control here, but even if he kills the town center, is this going to matter or not? It looks like it isn't, as the Murmillos are going to clean up those heroes over here. Arcus is going to be coming through, and Raple will need to take it back to his main base. The hoplites here will beat those Prometheans. The Prometheans have got 60% pierce armor. They've got a lot of effective hack HP, but so too do the hoplites, and they only are 2 population. So it's actually not a bad unit to actually just fight straight up against that Promethean there. And oftentimes you can think of a Promethean as a souped up infantry unit anyways. It's not like it's doing anything specific. And the same with the automaton as well. As my voice is dying here. They're like souped up infantry units in a way. As the hoplites popping back over here, and Super's going to be ready to start charging forward. I want to see another temple to come up. Super at this point, one big advantage of losing his town center is he doesn't have to build villages anymore. You might be like, that doesn't sound like an advantage. And I'm like, well, it's not, but it does kind of force him into an all-in at this point, or he has to build the town center back up. As Fabala's getting dropped down, more units to come forward. There is a trader available. Unfortunately, you can't use your trader on the Heracles or on the Jason. It'd be nice to have those heroes on your side as the Atlantean player, but you can use it onto any sort of powerful myth units that start coming through. And Raple going to be backing up. Villagers to come through, grab this gold mine on the right-hand corner here. And to be honest, there is a temple to come up here. There is a real possibility here that Soup can get a gold starve happening in this game. He just needs to get some more units out, really. At the moment, he has a lot of food income, wood income. Those Prometheans are going to be coming through now as well. And he can keep pumping out Arcus. So Arcus, Promethean. Unfortunately for Soup, that Horns of Consecration technology I was talking about was going to get him a little bit of favor. I don't think he's going to get a whole lot of favor from it in this game. As the grinder over here going to be going down. Let's take a look at what Soup actually sees. Yeah, he does see that basically there's no gold mines on this left side of the map, so he probably needs to just swing it around the right there and start hitting Rapple's gold. As we do see that Rhea's gift technology to come through as well. Going to be a little bit of extra favor back for the small price of 150 resources. That's the army charging over onto this side. Oh, 2 citizens getting sniped. That's actually huge because the villager count is obviously not increasing here for Soup, so losing them is going to hurt. But Raple, he needs to defend. His gold is going to be in a lot of trouble here. I've actually been in this sort of a situation versus an Atlantean player before. Realistically, the best way to play here is just to turtle up and just accept that, you know, they're going to be all-inning you, get a market down, and then just keep on building units. But you don't know that they don't have the town center up. He just doesn't know. It says that he doesn't on his map, but he doesn't see that Soup is going for an all-in here. As Hoplites moving it onto the back, the Prometheans will be attempting to hold here. Arcus not really the best against those Hoplites. If they don't have any sort of a front line, it kind of looked like the Hoplites were able to just ignore those Prometheans in the end there. There's still a lot of them coming. As well as there's still a trader in the bank. If he wants to use it on a hoplite, not the best of value, but it could take one full HP hoplite out of the fight, I guess. As the Promethean over here, still causing problems. Jason is back in to start cleaning up those Deuterinos over there. But the hoplites, they need to actually get back and actually take this fight. Like I said, it's not really that terrible of a fight to use hoplites against Prometheans. It's not are great. The best thing to kill off Prometheans is ranged units. They've only got 25% pierce armor. But given that they have high pierce, high hack armor, the hoplites do, then they're actually not taking that much damage from those Prometheans, allowing heroes to get a huge amount of damage done. As the hoplites still retreating back. And the Jason chasing away. And going through Rheia here, I mean, it does another really, really big thing. It effectively means that, you know, Raple is probably going to want to build Minotaur here. But he can't. He's got the resources for a restoration, which he might be dropping down on a fight here if Soup wants to turn around and actually take it. How many Prometheans are actually here at the moment? He's got 13 Prometheans and 2 Promethean offsprings, and now we see the town center is also back up for Soup after all is said and done. There's the restoration to come through. Those heroes, they need to get onto the right unit here. And so we'll go back up to full HP. We see a Chaos, a trader onto something. What did he trade us? I don't know what he traded. I can't tell. Must have been a hoplite. I don't think there's anything else, unless there was a myth unit. He traded the villager? Can you trade a villager? Surely not. Wait, can you? Hang on. I don't... Was it? No, I'm getting trolled. Look at the wall. Huh? You can trade her a villager? Are you kidding me? What is this? Why can't I want to be able to build military academies. I want to be able to build archery ranges. I want to be able to build stables. What's happening in this game? Turns out Rheia has been secret OP this entire time. You can literally just kill villagers non-stop. That's hilarious. Can he build a Greek temple? Yeah, give me that. Temple. Look at what he can build. Town center, wall, tower, farm, market, armory. He can't even build the Atlantean stuff. Come on, this is Egypt. What's that game? It's like, I think StarCraft had this, or StarCraft 2 had this. You could like mind control a probe or SCV, and you could like literally build your opponent's stuff. Surely that should be a thing. Come on, guys. Can we make it a thing? Trader, steal a villager, start making Greek units. Like, why not? I guess the problem is you don't really have the tech for it. But the villager has the memory. The villager has the memory. But then again, you don't have the tech for it. And the techs don't transfer, so it does make sense that it doesn't work. Okay, fine. But a win here for Soup as he manages to take out the Raple, even after losing his town center and going through Rheia here. But, I mean, this game probably just came down to this big raid onto this woodline or food situation here. Raple makes a movement with his villagers. Soup catches him out. I think if Raple was probably here with his army, he wouldn't have taken any damage. He probably could have walled this off. And then Soup would have probably been in a really tough position after the big town center loss here. But great reaction from Soup to not panic and just get that pressure in. It's nice to see the Prometheans are back even after being nerfed to the 9s. 90 food, 90 favor. Sorry, 90 food, 9 favor and a dream. But very, very fun here nonetheless. GG. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, assorted members of the jury, another game of Age Mythology has hit your screens and we are going to be watching it together. In the top side of the map, the one, the only, Mr. Husk Soup presenting Kronos on this auspicious of occasions. His opponent, none other than the Raple as the enemy Uranos. I mean, obviously blue is the good guy, red is the bad guy. Like, we know that. We learned that from the campaign. On that one mission where we were the red color, that was a dream. And, you know, Arcantos turned out to be the bad guy in his own dream. It's a little bit of a nightmare. So right now we're going for the good guys. The Kronos man. It might be Kronos. You might think, well, hang on. wasn't Kronos the bad guy in the campaigns, you might say? And I say, look, he was, but he was a red Kronos. This is the blue Kronos. So blue Kronos, good. Red Kronos, bad. Map, Elysium. Oh, sorry, spoilers? I'm sorry, for those of you who haven't played the campaign, 20-year-old campaign, yeah, the villain of said campaign, you know, was Kronos. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not even a spoiler, right? Is it? Oh, I guess we did say that there was a dream. I mean, that's not really a spoiler either. That's just kind of like a synopsis. I think you guys are taking this a bit far. Look at Soup. He's already out on the second hunt. This guy's crazy. Up. 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 Idle time caused. Soup, what a big brain. What an absolute big brain. Wait, how does it tell me how long it takes? Buildings are unbuilt at 2.5 build points a second. Hold on. 2.5 build points a second. So how many build points does this have? Makes it hard for me to calculate how long it takes my deconstruction to happen when there's no build points in this thing. Does it actually tell me anywhere? No. Anyways, the Soup with the perfect deconstruction right there gets a little bit of value, but the temple is still going to be up and he's still going to be in with a little bit of struggle. Yeah, this strat Soup was using in Legacy as well. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's just a tiny little bit of harassment onto the economy early game with that deconstruction. And deconstruction, realistically, you're not going to really use it until, I guess, the heroic age, when a palace comes down. It's probably your best use 9 times out of 10. And by then, 10 favor for the deconstruction is well worth it. So early game harassment to give yourself that tiny little bit of damage is pretty nice. Technically speaking, it's kind of like bolting a villager or bolting a quarter of a villager, yeah. Depending on how long it takes your opponent to react to building the house back up. Then again, if you mistime it, then it's bad. And we do see, we see Prometheus. I was looking at the wrong thing here. We see Prometheus from Raple. This guy's crazy. Absolutely insane. I've never thought to see a Prometheus in a game of Age Mythology against Kronos before. This is very much playing into the Kronos, but that being said, you do have a lot more favor income as the Uranos, so you can find yourself some advantages there. As the temple going to be getting brought back home. And how many seconds of advantage here does he actually have? It seems like a fairly decent amount, actually. It looks so only... Oh, that's so much damage, actually. That's like nearly a full villager. Soup is nearly a full citizen behind in this one. That's crazy. Anyways, some Terma heroes to come through. The Prometheans charging around, causing some pressure. Oh, finds himself an oracle. There is going to be a potential valor that can be used to keep that oracle alive. But Raple very smartly waits till the very last moment to pull that oracle into the sentry tower before Soup needs to get out of here. As the relics coming in, Sharon's Obol. It's not my favorite relic in the game, but it is worthwhile to put it into your temple if you got the time for it. You never really need to prioritize it unless you're playing against a strategy. Okay, all right. Actually, there is the point where you want to prioritize it. The point is when you're playing a 2-town center game versus a raiding 1-town center player, because all of a sudden then you're losing a villager, right? Your opponent's raiding you, say they're going Sphinx or Centaur, something like that. Maybe a good example might be like a Zeus versus Poseidon or Hades versus Poseidon game, and you go 2-town centers. You're going to be fine losing a handful of villagers because you get a whole bunch of resources back for it. So you can go out and be a little bit more risky with those villagers on the 2-town center versus 1-town center game plan. But other than that, it's just like a nice little nicety to have and all the other good stuff. As Raple wandering over here to drop his Sky Passage in the corner. A classic, moving every single citizen there to build it. Generally, you want to be sending one villager over there to get that one up, but Raple just wants to be over there and enjoying his time on that position. As the temple is deciding it's had enough yet again. Maybe attempting to get... Wait, does Raple see this? I think he did. He definitely saw it. Whoa! Excuse me, Soup. Your brain is too big for the rest of us. Could you please save some cooking for the rest of... I can't deal with this brain right now. He is going through Rheia. He has his temple in a position now. Unfortunately for him, it has been spotted. The heroes are going to be waiting, and the behemoths aren't the best unless they are catching your opponent off guard. But we see the behemoths coming forward. The temple will be getting brought back home. And these behemoths will be getting taken down very, very quickly. Effectively, the behemoths take less damage when getting attacked from in front. So once they start getting attacked from behind, they get absolutely cleaned up. It's a sad day to be a Rheia lover. Everybody wants a behemoth to be useful, but Raple read that like a book with that temple getting spotted. I think if Soup was maybe a little bit more tricky with it, a little bit further back with the temple time shift, there might not have been heroes waiting for him in the main base, and he might have been able to get that damage done. And as I'm speaking, Raple with the raid, thank you, my friend. I hope your stream went absolutely swimmingly, and you killed all of the recons over and over and over and over and over again. That's what I hope happened. Whether it did or not, I don't know. But, you know, I send my love out to you. As the Kontaris going to be attempting... We're actually watching Raple games here, actually. Look at this. It's Raple. As the Terma getting chased around by the Kontaris. And the question is really, where to next for Soup? Now, what Soup does have is he's got this Heart of the Titans technology coming through. He's got a lot of favor in the bank. So at any moment here, he can decide to just get a huge amount of heroes in if need be. But we'll see if he's going to be able to do so or not. As the Kontaris coming through. Looking to take some smacks away at a citizen. Doesn't quite get it. Nice attempt from Soup, but Raple too quick into the Sky Passage. He has to leave that spot there. More Kontaris. A couple of Arcus going to be coming in as well here. Raple definitely wants the Heroic Age. As everybody knows that they are so good getting the Dryads in and everything else. A couple of Arcus also to start popping in here. Do we see any cheeky extra upgrades? Not just yet. Deconstruction onto the front Sky Passage here as the units will be charging forward. Raple needs to garrison into the manor and come out. This is actually really hard to micro. I think the only way to do this is to run the villagers from afar and then spam ungarrison for them to all like jump in and out. But we have got Raple already over onto this gold mine on the right-hand corner, as is the classic case for the Uranos players. They will be all over the map, being a pain forever, as another Sky Passage to come up. Now, Soup could find those villagers over there and try and get the deconstruction off. So these bad boys going to attempt to retreat back. The Arcus need to position themselves in a way to keep themselves away from those Terma, but a fantastic shockwave onto them will allow the Terma to clean everything else up, as those Catapulties are looking incredibly fierce here to charge forward. And Soup will have to bail out of here. One more Arcus on the back going to be falling. Got the villagers to come up onto this side. The where to next for Soup is the big question. 100 favor in the bank. Obviously, he will have access to some traders to steal away Stymphalian birds once they start coming in. It's probably the only thing of value for him to trade at the moment. He does have the premium units of Contarius and Arcus versus Rapple's counter units, which they counter the army, but I guess it's tough to use them. Kinda. I mean, Soup is still very much in this game. Like, he's only behind a handful of citizens. Literally two citizens here, so it's not a big deal. The score difference here is something you can very safely ignore. Doesn't really mean anything at this point in the game, I think. I mean, armory upgrades, maybe? Is he behind on those? Nope. There's literally nothing here separating these players at the moment. I mean, I guess part of me wants to say he could spam out heroes, but there's just so many catapulties here. Oh. A deletion of that Sky Passage does give a little bit of a timing in for Soup, and he's almost going to have that deconstruction if he wants to use it over here as well. I spot a couple of those oracles coming out as Raple is trying to mass them. You got to be so careful sitting near a Sky Passage because those catapulties come up very quickly, whacking the Contarius. He's going to be retreating out of here. That's the Rheia to come through from Raple. Now he has the Hesperus trees. I guess the big thing here for the Raple, the big advantage that Raple actually has is he's got heroes out. Whereas Soup doesn't. Now Soup can get these heroes whenever he really wants, and they're going to come out instantly, right? Because he has that upgrade, as the Stymphalian Bird going to be running over here. Will we see that one getting traded? Yes, we will. Excuse me, Raple, I would like to introduce you to your own bird. As the birds will be fighting. Big deconstruction over here as the Arcus are going to try and get that damage on the Contarius. Charging over here. A couple of villager kills will be very, very nice, but the Arcus don't have themselves that upgrade ballistics, as he does manage to get one citizen kill. Charging forward to get 2 citizen kills here. Still getting more damage onto this position as Raple doesn't actually want to take this fight. He's actually deciding to pull back. Those catapulties will be very, very powerful. A couple of Contarius up onto the top side to try and take out the Terma. Soup needs to pull those Arcus and ensure that he's taking out those catapulties on the back, but unfortunately for Soup, it looks like the catapulties are going to clean up all that front line. These Arcus just not doing the damage. But both players, I mean, Soup still has an advantage here. He literally still has got the population advantage, military advantage here. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. I really wouldn't mind seeing Murmillos getting made at the moment for Soup, because catapulties, Terma, not really the best of units to deal with a whole bunch of Murmillos, but maybe no upgrades in for Soup at the moment to make that really worthwhile. The Stymphalian Bird flying overhead, getting some good damage done, but can Soup hold on here or not against this onslaught now? As the heroized units of Raple are looking very, very painful to deal with, I guess. And look at the difference in military right now. Realistically now, a smart transition into infantry units, and Raple is going to be in a very difficult position. Does he have it? He doesn't have any upgrades. This is why he doesn't want to, but sometimes you do need to just say, okay, I accept that I need to change my army composition and just go Murmillo here and then convert them into heroes as well to deal with all those dryads. You've got the Heart of the Titans, there's 33 favor, plus all of this Promethean that I don't think is going to be that useful here. Again, I mean, there's not that many heroes, so maybe they will be useful. Maybe this is the right play. We're going to have to wait and see. A couple more military barracks to come up here. Contarius, all the other good stuff we are seeing. Poseidon's Secret, Lance of Stone from the Raple to transition into his own Contarius. Take a look at his military barracks. He's got 5 of them. But, I mean, the longer Soup can just sit back on this economic advantage, the better for him, right? He's going to have a huge advantage cooking. Economic upgrades, he has some decent ones. Raple also has some decent upgrades himself. So neither player is super far behind here in any way, shape, or form. Walls to come up all over this place to deny any sort of raids. Does he have himself the upgrade? Nope. Oh, he's getting himself Prophetic Sight, but no... Orichalcum Mail. Orichalcum Mail gives 20%. It basically gives copper mail and bronze mail to those Arcus, which might not seem like a lot, but it is. As a cheeky little trader comes down, Raple has been wanting to use his myth units, but Rheia says, excuse me, I'm the only one who gets to have myth unit fun in this game. You don't get to. This is I want fun with myth units. You're not allowed to have it. As the Contarius now out for the Raple. Big advantage for him, given that he's got Rheia, 6.3 speed and a dream. He needs to get villager kills. The difference is about 5 citizens. So it's a big difference there, as the citizens will be making a retreat here. The Contarius for Soup coming up here to try and hold on. Valor forced out. The army over here pulling back. Soup's at full population. Full population. He's ready to go. A town center would be great. Maybe some catapulties in prep here. Going to try and take out the sky passage on this left-hand corner if he can, as the army, however, will be coming through. Is he fast enough? Yes, he is. He's going to be able to retreat out. If you're going after the market as well, is going to be a nice one, as is always the case. But looks like it's time to just pull back. That one Promethean here is making these Contarius very slow. A great building block starting over here, as the citizens will be blocking this one up. But Soup paying attention. Big shockwave onto this one to allow that military barracks to come through. This is a huge amount of damage here that Raple absolutely needs to keep himself equal in this game. He's got himself a town center as well behind this, but same too is Soup going for the town center, as the army, though, moving over onto this bottom side. The Stymphalian bird getting good damage. The army, though, can teleport over here very quickly. Is the wooden wall going to go down? Unfortunately, guys, I cannot snooze the ads, so I apologize. Soup is trying to break through on this position, but those Dryads are doing absolute work here. Soup needs heroes desperately. He's got 8 oracles out at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So many just roaming around the map. A palace to come through. Soup's game here might be slipping away from him at the moment. As the citizens popping through into the palace. Promethean's trying to break through onto this one. Can Soup hold? I mean, the population differential is still really close, but the military difference in resources is huge because of those Dryads. They're making all the difference at this point. And Soup has no heroes. I mean, he has that Heart of the Titans tech, so he literally could just be making them on the fight. It's not a problem. But it looks like Raple is able to continue breaking through. There's still a serious villager advantage for Soup, but it's not amounting in anything here, it seems. As I'm still thinking the best option for Soup was to transition into Murmillos here. Like full Murmillos and Murmillo heroes. Even without Bite of the Shark, they're still really good units. As the citizens pulling up onto this, but great valor onto the citizen there. As the Dryads are going to be bashing down the palace onto this spot. Arcus going down over here. Contarius going to be taking these units out. And where to next? For Soup here. He's still streaming units. Both players streaming units in. It's still close. Soup's got so many units in the bank here queued up. He's going to have so much population. Does he have the upgrade? He does. So these units should be coming out really quickly. I don't think Raple can keep up in this game. Not with the spammage here. He's going to have to find another way. The palace also sitting is getting a huge amount of assistance over here. Do we see Orichalcum Mail yet? Still no Orichalcum Mail. Why does no one get this tech? It's so good. Maybe it's not that good. I don't know. But Raple needs to retreat back. Soup on the chase. He now has those heroes here to take out the Dryads. This game is so obscenely close here. The question is, with 2 Prometheus and also the big brain of Soup, once these villagers hit close to 100, or even right now isn't a bad idea, is it time to get yourself Theft of Fire? I mean, it's literally, it's basically free for Soup because he's got Rheia. But you get Theft of Fire and you start heroizing villagers at this point. Especially against Kronos, where there's not any huge timing to come through, likely going to be a Tartarian gate, and those heroes become very, very effective to not only survive against raids, but also deal with the Tartarian spawns that are coming through, and you get a huge amount of economic advantage. Now, obviously, Raple can do the same. He's got a lot of favor in the bank as well. Now a whole bunch of hero units coming in for Raple. Soup trying to push forward. So many units in the queue here. I think that one thing you can do is hotkey wise, if you're in this spot and you need heroes, you can go into your queue. You can hit backspace to clear the queue, or shift backspace, whatever you want. And then you can create all those heroes and go. But this is a really, really tough spot here now for Soup to actually take this fight on, as the Kontarias are going to be coming through and just cleaning everything up. Soup gets absolutely caught out on this position, and all of a sudden the village differential is equal. Over here we do see deconstruction coming through. The villagers are in. A couple of archers to come in and try and take out the villagers. But yeah, all of a sudden, game is back in the hands of Raple. And what can Soup really do? What advantage does he have here? I mean, technically speaking, I think Soup with... does Rheia have it? Yeah, with... No, I think it's just... Prophetic Sight is just on the hands of the Thea, right? So Prophetic Sight is that technology which boosts the favor income. So not only does Raple have Kronos to boost his oracles, but he's also got Prophetic Sight. So he's going to have, even with just 3 oracles, he's going to be having a lot of favor income. As the Kontari is coming through here, trying to deal with this oracle, does end up getting sniped down. And the Kontarius will be retreating back. Soup is going to get back up to the full population again, but he needs favor and he needs heroes. And he needs a really, really big army here. Both players at full population. Are we going to see any heroization? No. I'm still waiting on it. I'm still waiting on it. I don't know if it's good or not. This is just pure theory crafting. But I think it's good. I think it's good. Like, look at all the resources. You could have so many more. Soup grabbing himself a 3rd talent center over onto this left-hand corner. So Kontarius charging in. It's still literally Kontarius Arcus versus Kontarius Arcus, but one player's Kontarius are stronger than the others. I think Soup needs something different here. Mermillo, Catapeltes. Fanatic. He doesn't have any because he's not in the Mythic Age, but Fanatic. What else could you build? Prometheus. Prometheans, excuse me. More Kontarius to come charging through. But Soup just keeps on losing these fights. He's upgrading up to guard towers here in an effort to get some... Does he have crenellations? Yes, he does. So at least his buildings will be getting a decent amount of damage done against those cavalry units. So villagers over here getting pushed back. Citizens coming in to shank down the palace on this position. Can he break through? Can Soup hold here and get it? He's got him that 3rd town center. If he can get up to full population, could be huge. But same too. Does Raple have 3 town centers? And Soup, does he have himself fortified town centers? No, it's not in just yet. He also doesn't have this tech, which could be very, very useful. Horns of Consecration. Might not seem like a lot of favor, but I mean, every little bit counts. What do you get from it? It's like 0.05. So it's like a monument and a half with 3 town centers. It's not nothing. It's like 9 favor a minute or something like that. As Hecate is pre-queued now, Raple definitely knows that's the next part of his plan. As the Kontari is going to be swinging around and surrounding that town center there. Dryad's pulling back. Raple gets his palace up on the front here. There's so many Kontarias. But what else can Soup do? I mean, like I said, catapults were always an option. More citizens going down here, retreating into the town center. The Soup's economy is in a lot of trouble here. Taking the fight on the front. Another shockwave. A very expensive 45 favor, but it does not matter. Shockwave there. Mythic Age is now queued up. The Kontaris are going to be swinging up from the bottom to join into this fight. Armory upgrades 31%, 46%, 24 versus 51. So Soup technically does have some armory advantage, but damage-wise, 20.3 versus 22.3 is significantly in Rapple's advantage there, as Soup's army just cannot seem to beat anything moving forward. Guard towers are in, but like you see the damage going in, and they're not tickling, they're not doing nothing, but it's so many units. You need so many towers to actually see a significant amount of damage actually coming through. As the citizens falling over here, and Raple looks like he's going to be running away with this game as he gets the dub. Takes out the Soup Kronos. The Soup craziness. Rheia. I mean, you looked at the game and you're like, man, it kind of looks like Soup's in a good spot for the entirety of the game, but he just could not beat this Rheia army. I think some of this is the idea of maybe not going for Murmillo, but if you go Murmillo, then you don't have the speed to keep up with the Kontarius. You're going to get raided into the ground. So it's a tough one to kind of work out. In the end, though, I think you have to get infantry of some variety and maybe heroes. I'm still waiting to see a Prometheus user getting Theft of Fire and heroizing citizens. One day, we're going to see it. One day. I'm waiting. I know there's some good, strong players in the chat to show me. Show me how it's done. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the game, please consider following Twitch. From the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, our series continues. The series of watching Kronos at the tip-top level. Raple this time has decided to go in with Hades. His opponent today is no longer Soup. He does not have to deal with the big brain of Soup, but instead the ironclad defenses of Recon. Recon's Kronos is a hell of a lot different than any other Kronos I watch. We've already seen him going to be opting in for a far second town center, already time shifting the mana forward. I mean, this doesn't necessarily dictate that he's doing this. This could be a fake. I know that at these players, Recon, Raple, Mister, Kuvoth even to some degrees, Magic. These guys have a little something going on. And that something is mind games. Because they play so many games against each other from time to time at the top level that, you know, they know what the tiniest bit of information means when playing against a certain player. So you really want to be like on that next level of thinking about that stuff, so that you can be ready to like give someone some of that information, make them think you're doing one thing, and then go for a completely different thing. Now, Raple at this point has his temple up. He's going to be going for his fast Vaults of Erebus build. This is obviously the kind of standard for Hades. There is nothing wrong with delaying this. You're going to get less resources, right? But you can get other stuff in. For example, you can get a safer far second town center. You can prevent yourself from getting harassed early on. With Hades, you do have Sentinels, so that makes it very, very tricky to get any serious harassment done, but I'm sure that Recon is going to want to make something happen in the early stages of the game here to punish the late advance from Raple. as his temple is going to come up. He's actually putting it up with 2 villagers, and this early mana shift has actually lost Recon some resources here as he does queue up Prometheus. So a little bit of a late-ish advance from Recon. He's trying to go for a 330-ish, 335? I can't remember what it is. 330-ish advance time, but going to be heading there for 340 instead. Meanwhile, relics up the top of the map. We've got Scarab Pendant here. The next one down the bottom is what? The Oseberg Wagon. Down to this position, we've got the Nose of the Sphinx, plus 15% of base hit points there on the buildings. And on the bottom, there's Pelt of Argus, line of sight plus 6. Meanwhile, Recon has found his way onto the back of Raple's base here. Raple has already dropped himself the Sentinels. We see the deconstruction onto that temple. That will deny any sort of Minotaur to come through, but Ajax is already in. But the advance time is about 30 seconds behind here, so a little bit of pain definitely going to be coming the wayside of Raple. He's going to have to do something here. Now, he could drop a wall down or some houses down or something to block off this position, like kind of Age of Empires 2 ghost building-esque ideas. As the Prometheans moving forward, but Raple is just going to be retreating back these low HP villages, making sure everything's nice and safe, turning around and getting a little bit of a shanky McShank here, and a villager will go down. That there is advantage for Recon. He's going to be very, very happy about that. Behind all of this, the town center is already on the way. The temple has already been brought back, and it's going to be town center season here for Recon. I've already said this in my last game, but I'm not sure about this as like your best option against Greek here for Kronos. I think you're giving a lot of time over to the Greek players to kind of set up for their own second town center, playing into those really strong hoplites and strong army, and you might hit a point where you just can't break through that Greek army. I think it's a lot better to sort of open up and try and harass. And on a map like this, it is a very, very harassable map. You've got a way through up here to get onto this food, onto this chicken. You've got these berries open. The wood line on the back is also open, sneaking through here and harassing up onto this spot. These zebra are also, I mean, you could, obviously they could be shot in underneath the town center, but they're also open. So it's a very, very open base, even though it's got 3 forests. It's still very, very open, but we'll see how it's all going to go now that Raple gets his town center, and same too for Recon. We do have a cheeky little Raple Achilles trying to get tiny bits of damage done here, but he's not going to be able to get all too much. Now, I mean, on the converse side, there is a economic sort of defensive booming approach that does make sense for Kronos. It all lies in the hands of Theft of Fire. I've only ever seen this done once, and I think it was by Soup. I could be wrong, but it makes a hell of a lot of sense. Effectively, you're going to go for the far second town center. You're going to use Valor on cooldown onto citizens to get yourself that boosted economy. You're going to get Theft of Fire, and then once you hit 100 civilian population or 50 civilian units, you're going to start heroizing citizens going through. That's the thing that's kind of missing in terms of that Kronos boom, that Atlantean boom. And in the end of it, once you get all 50 citizens heroized, you actually are sitting on 150 civilian population in terms of actual efficiency at fully upgraded villages. So no longer does your economy fall flat against a Greek economy or against the Egyptian or a Norse economy. You're able to compete in that late game. Obviously, it does cost resources. It does take time to pay itself off, but it's a really, really good way to continue. But yeah, I have seen a lot of people just using the Valor on citizens, but the actually manually converting once you hit full population is not really in the meta. I don't know if it's good. I think it's good. Theoretically, it makes a lot of sense, but whether or not you like miss out on too many opportunities with sort of all-ins and things like that, I'm not 100% sure. But nonetheless, over on this side, Wooden Gate gonna get beaten down over here as the Mamilo's looking for some value. Recon not going for any of those early game Terma here. Instead, just making Murmillos and trying to break through. As the Minotaur going to come up. Just a little bit of repairing on this side. This doesn't really do that much damage to the Raple economy, but he does need to get something happening here. Big headbutt onto all of those Murmillos as he is trying to break through on this position here. But he has to, like, kind of kill off some of these units. Great micro from Raple. He does some damage, pulls back, comes back in. The wall might go down. So the unit's getting headbutted back. More villagers getting brought over here to attempt to repair this one up. Oh, a little bit of a misclick there from Raple, but it looks like he will be okay here. No problems. The early pressure from Recon has been prevented. Man, so many special attacks coming through from that Minotaur as all those Murmillos will need to bail. Now, Recon has grabbed himself an extra Oracle at this point. So he's on 4. Houses coming down over here. The armory to come through as well for the Raple. And we will be seeing Aphrodite as the god of choice. I'm still a fan of Aphrodite. I know there's like a lot of people who really like the Apollo and everything else. Dionysus, but you know, the idea of just getting Aphrodite and then getting golden apples, especially when you're Athena or potentially going to be going for Hephaestus or even Artemis as well, getting golden apples and then just having a huge amount of favor for restorations, Minotaur, Nemean Lions, Chimera, Plenty Vaults, Colossus, even if the game calls for it. It can be really, really nice. There's a villagers coming up here, going to be grabbing that elephant on that position. Always nice to get some decent amounts of food as Raple is going to be throwing up some chemo walls. He says, I don't want anything coming through on this position. This is not going to be happening. Not on this day. Not ever. As he's going to get some of those cheeky little walls to go. And we'll see how things are going to go here as up onto the top position. The Murmillo are here to hold. A bit of a Murmillo heroization needed to try and take out the Minotaurs as the villagers will turn around and start shanking. Raple here has to turn around and take a fight. I mean, restoration is an option, but more units here coming in for Recon as the curse gets dropped down, and it looks like at the end of it, it's going to be a relatively close fight, but a fight that will go the wayside of Recon nonetheless. The Valor there, beautiful Valor by Recon, as those heroes are trapped and will indeed get taken out here behind all of this. Sarissa to come through as well. Hoplite's going to be returning back. A couple of Murmillos are coming through as well. Hyperion is on the way. And the advantage is firmly in the hands of Recon here. But Recon doesn't really have an answer for Paspis. So these Paspis do have a bit of a timing here to break through and maybe push off of this elephant. We'll see if he's going to be able to do that at any point or not. That's the Chiron on the way. Do we have ourselves any sort of golden apple? Ah, yes! I love a good pre-queue on a golden apples. Nothing beats that. As Raple ready to get some good pressure over here. Nemean Lion, Achilles, all the good stuff. Chaos forced out here as Recon pushes forward, going to be able to snipe down that Nemean Lion. The army does have to retreat back, but I imagine Rapple's not going to be too upset about this because Chaos off the cards that early on. I mean, there's another one for 60 favor, but that's going to be a nice thing for him because now he can get himself restoration through from having that golden apples, putting like 6, 8, 10 villagers on favor at this point makes a lot of sense. But the problem here for Raple is he has to literally sit back here and just defend for quite some time here. And we'll see what's going to happen. As Raple does come up onto these elephants. He's getting some walls down. This is spotted ever so slightly here by Recon with that Oracle. So he's going to be sending those Murmillos over there. And these are the sort of losses you really can't take as the Hades. There's not... I mean, I personally don't see the point in taking these risks. Just sit in your base and farm or grab the town center and then get the elephants. But he's going to be losing quite a few villages here as the Murmillos coming in. Raple reacting. The wall will get up over here. The army going to be... Oh, he does get some counter raids over though. So that's a nice little trade. So losing some villages, killing some villages, always nice. As the army going to come up onto this side here to try break through onto the gold mine. But seeing the double walls might be a little bit painful here. For those of you wondering... If you want to clean the entire wall off, what you want to do is you want to actually kill the long wall, then kill a small wall, right? That'll deal half the damage onto the next wall, and then you can kill that one off and actually save a little bit of damage. So there you go. Little secret to the trade. Kill the wall connector. The wall connector is the weak point. There's the Contarius swinging around the back. Satyr are in, and this army here from Recon is looking very, very scary. As Raple, I mean, he has to just get himself out an army that deals with this. So he needs hoplites, he needs a pacifist. The Peltast aren't a bad idea, but I think he needs some Toxotes here, given the amount of Arcus is not that many. Recon not wanting to overcommit just yet. Pokes forward, pulls back. Watchtowers coming through. Fortified town centers is up for Recon now as well, as the army on the over on the bottom here going to be retreating back home. Yeah, the citizen situation here for Recon has fallen quite a bit. But look at the resources. He's ready to go Mythic Age. And this is the sort of time that I was talking about where you can very much grab Theft of Fire and just heroize citizens. And you're just going to get so much economy. Like right now, while you're going to the Mythic Age, better time. This is the best possible time to go for. As the wall does get broken down, this other one does manage to get put back up. And Recon still trying to break through on this bottom side of the map. Just a little bit of raids. It's a big amount of army over there as Raple deciding to charge forward. He does have that Roar of Orthus in, so these Nemean Lions will cause a lot of idle time. As all the villagers in the world trying to keep this wall up. It's ever so slowly going down, though, as the hoplites will be making their way up onto this position. And the Contarius immediately retreating away. Recon's fortified town center does not look like it's going to be falling on this day, though. And look at this. I believe, yeah, I believe he's doing it. Oh, there he goes. There's one special. There's the second special. You want to make sure you're using this special so that it overlaps. So you can get your opponent to be idle for the entirety of that time as the unit's coming back up onto this spot here. Raple, I mean, this is a good fight. Restoration to come through. But Implode is almost in. And Raple's economy is at 90 pop. Losing this army to an Implode might be enough to give Recon the edge in this game. Raple is on the bottom side there with that gold mine, but effectively he needs to take as much of this fight as he possibly can before Implode, because these hoplites aren't going to be gigantic here, but the population differential is very, very big. And it looks like Raple, I mean, he should be okay in this fight. He just doesn't have the resources. His actual production is a little bit on the small side here as well. 3 archer ranges, 2 military academies might not be enough for him as Implode comes through and Raple does not want to play anymore in this game. Recon too strong in this one. An interesting game. Like, I'm not exactly sure where Raple went wrong here. Maybe the restoration on this front, on this attack over here, losing that fight, a little bit unnecessary. Generally, you want to save restoration for when you have a full population army. in nearly every single matchup, actually. The more units this restoration hits, obviously, the better it becomes. 25 HP a second in a fight getting restored is an insane amount, right? But Recon does well to find this win with the Kronos. Unfortunately, didn't get to see those hero citizens. You can see how many resources he's got in the bank right now. Imagine it doesn't cost that many resources to actually heroize a citizen. I think it's like 85 total or something. So you can just get them out whenever you want. And the beauty of it is there's no train time. And you can also get this tech in the temple as well, Heart of the Titan, to make even actually 0 train time. But there's basically 0 train time on them. So it's kind of like, if you think about it, you get every 3 citizens you heroize with Theft of Fire, you get 1 extra one. So if you think about it like that, it's like 0 train time for an extra citizen, but you have to pay through the nose for it. Like 85, it's like 1 citizen times 3. Is it actually 85? Does it tell me how much it is in the tech tree? No. Wait, I can probably see. Find me a hero citizen somewhere. There are 0 hero citizens. Oh, there's one. This is 150.25, and this is 85.15. So it's where was it? So it's 10 wood and 85 take 150. 150 take 85. So 65, 75, 65, 75. I can't do math. So yeah, I think I was right. 80 something. Fantastic. GG. Well played. Well played, Recon. We'll move on to another game. GG's.